December the 13th, 2023. Guys, in a video a couple back, maybe it was yesterday, we were talking about Russia had shut down NATO and U.S. satellites. They had knocked the power out in Kiev and took out the Kiev net. I think that's communication network, the largest one, took out the ATMs. There were a picture of that online today. And so what we're dealing with is AI. Well, you're looking at a site that's called it's called Cyber Threat. It's at checkpoint.com. I will put a link to it. You can come there and look at it. But in the video, again, with Russia and Crimea, what they did was block the satellites, or it said they blinded the satellites of both NATO and the U.S. that were monitoring troop movement of Russia, ship movement. And someone in the comments put a reminder in there that said that Russia had done that before when they were launching their submarine fleet. They blinded the satellites. And this site is a little different than what we had looked at on this site for the last several years, different sites. But this is the first one. Notice in the top left, checkpoint.com is where you're going to find this. But it's AI. So is Russia that much advanced in artificial intelligence? They are in every other form of weaponry, both satellites, technology, and just mean machines. But again, AI is really fast. Now, I saw an article today as we look at Israel getting hit. Now, and I'm going to finish that, but let's look at the bottom. If it's a red line, it's malware. If it's a purple line, look in the center of the bottom of this, it's phishing. And if it's a yellow line, it's an exploit. You can see where it's coming and where it's going. And usually when you see that U.S. to Israel thing like that, it may not be the U.S. government. It could be, we have a lot of different nationalities in our country. I'm not saying what it is, but that looked like a DOS attack or a DDoS attack that denies service because there's so much incoming traffic. It's on purpose to shut down the site or overload it. But you can see a lot's coming from the U.S. There it goes to Portugal, and that could be simply a relay point, but they're U.S. to Japan. Check that out, Indonesia to Japan. And again, red is malware. Look at the chart on the left. That's how fast this is coming in. Again, AI technology, and I think that's what Russia was using. Think about that. Everybody in the capital city of Ukraine could not access their ATMs. Everything was shut down. That's how easy it could be done here. Looks like a DOS attack from the U.S. to Israel. Now, we're seeing a lot of protests inside the U.S. There's a lot of people that are very good at computers. I'm not that good. I don't want to be good enough to hack anybody. I don't want to go to prison for doing something stupid or malicious. But that's what it looks like is happening there. If it's not the U.S. government, but we would never know. I said in a video a month or two ago that Israel may get the et brute effect happening before this is said and done. Look at that massive attack to South Africa. Again, it doesn't have to be government. That's an exploit. Indonesia's hot. And we're seeing a lot of stuff coming from the Netherlands. It'll light up there into Israel. Look, coming from the central U.S. now. There's a lot of people mad at Israel about the continued attack in Gaza. And in the video last night, I mentioned that canal. Check that out if you haven't. But let's look for a minute, and this is how fast this is moving. And when AI is controlling it, speed is no problem. But Israel now is using AI, according to the article. I may be wrong. It seemed legit that they're using AI in targeting, getting hundreds of targets a day. Now, is AI right? And that's the nightmare come true for movies. Artificial intelligence, robots, really creating a war against mankind. Usually an evil scientist behind it. You've seen the movies, right? And so it's come to life. Israel is being accused of that right now. Don't know if it's true, but that's what's happening. Coming out of Georgia, it'll light up. Coming out of Texas over to California. What's going on there, we don't know. Usually It's inside information like hackers going to a business or whatever. There's that looks like a DOS attack, which is a denial of service because of overload from Canada to Brazil. Maybe that last one, there's Canada from the U.S., Texas, over to California. But look at that red line going to Israel and Japan. Heavy attacks there. And when it loops back down like it's doing in some places, I just saw it there, then it's inside that country. It could be from one building to the other. Who knows? But this is registering that in artificial intelligence time. Now, I'm going to bring up a couple of images here. Now, if you remember in the attack last night from Russia to Ukraine, one of the systems, I think from was it Kiev Net or something like that, that the infrastructure was destroyed. And it can be done online. It says cyber attacks can come in many forms, and we're going to look at the three that are listed, and we're going to go back to the model that we're looking at. Ransomware is a type of malware identified by specified data or systems being held captive by attackers until a form of payment or ransom is provided. Phishing is online scam enticing users to share private information using deceitful or misleading tactics. CISA offers a variety of tools and resources that individuals and organizations can use to protect themselves from all types of cyber attacks. This is basically information from a company. Now let's look at what an exploit is. An exploit is a code that takes advantage of a software or security flaw. It is written either by security researchers as a proof of concept threat or by malicious actors for use in their operations. When used, exploits allow an intruder to remotely access a network and gain elevated privileges or move deeper into the network. Sounds like something we talked about in the video yesterday. In some cases, an exploit can be used as a part of a multi-component attack. Instead of using a malicious file, the exploit may instead drop another malware, which can include backdoor Trojans and spyware that can steal user information from the infected systems. Guys, there's so many folks out there around this planet now that are broke. We've seen what's happened in the last 3 years, and they're trying any way they can to make a dime. Now, think about this. We've talked about it, is that the fact that your best friends or neighbors, when they get hungry and they haven't prepped, you're going to be a target, because when that belly gets empty, the mind gets empty too, and things will happen. That is what's about to happen all over the world, and the intense attacks maybe are not all AI, because things are happening probably at your bank and mine. I've just had to deal with some problems today from a malicious attempt. But and they will come up with popular names and try to hit your bank account the way that I'm going to tell you about this, guys. By the way that it happened was unique. I had one of my debit cards unaccepted, so I have a number I can call the bank immediately. And they said, yes, you had a payment from one of the music companies that I deal with in my studio. It's automatic payment, small one each month. And a second later, the bank said that a malicious attempt into my account happened. In other words, it sounds like, and this was from a popular guitar company, one of the most popular on the planet. I'm not going to name that company, but all of this has been reported, and I don't think it was that company, because they don't have an outlet or direct outlet named and says company at the end of it in St. Louis. So a second after a regular payment came out to one of my music people, they hit me. 1 second. The bank caught it, shut down the card, and it was $0. They were seeing if the account was active. Somehow they tied into the other music company that's also very popular. They sell equipment. They sell some of the best mixing software on the planet. And the payment was there, and they piggybacked it somehow. Anyway, we reported it to both parties, and they're looking into it now. So that's how careful you got to be. I've been dealing with these people, which are very big, for years. Never seen it before, but it happened. That's how desperate. And this was last night. I had to go and get a new car today. That's how bad it's getting. Let's go back to that map. Now, again, look at the bottom, malware, phishing, and the exploit. We just went through that. You can always back the video up and check it out. Again, we're live now at 6:46 p.m. I'm going to link you to this, and you can go there live at any time. This section of it is free, but there's different information. Again, you're seeing red and yellow dots on the right. That's malware and exploits. That's the main two we're seeing tonight. Again, the U.S. is lit up, hitting Japan, hitting the Maldives. Hong Kong has a lot of stuff going out, and a lot of it's coming back again. Again, you can, if it's a direct loop inside the country, it's not going out of that country. It looks like in the U.S. right now, there's a lot of that going on the East Coast. Check that out, Texas, Florida. But that looping is coming down now. It looks like into southern Florida. Just kind of letting you know what's going on. But Japan's getting hit very hard right now. New Zealand, a few hits. Russia is sending out information or getting hit inside Russia itself. You've got spies everywhere, and it's probably very easy to do this with a laptop. That's what we're dealing with. The point was, you've got to be very careful. Make sure you know where your money is. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't claim to be. But you better, if you don't hold it, the way these cyber attacks are going, you're going to be like Kiev is now. You can't get to it. Part of the plan. Get it. Don't put it in gold and silver. Put it in survival food. I'm not asking you to buy anything from this channel. I'm saying for your family, I don't care where you get it. Because you're going to be looking at, suddenly this notice, you no longer have full access to your money, and your kids are hungry, and you've been warned for years. Now you can see how fast it's happening. You better take my advice, which is not legal advice, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying that, but you better do something now. I don't care if you say, well, I'm going to take a heavy percentage loss by doing that, or I'm going to have to sell or get out of my stock or whatever it is. If you don't hold it, I'm not talking about paper. I'm talking about something tangible, whether it's protective devices or it's food, water, filtration, whatever it is, things that you and your family can use, things that are tangible. All these fake gold companies out there you're seeing, some of them do ship you the actual gold or silver, and then it's up to you to either make a dime on it or lose it, right? But the ones that are saying, we're going to hold it for you, we're part of a lot of churches use us, a lot of retirement people use us, and you're pretty naive if you think that's going to hold up during a cyber attack. Think about what I'm telling you guys. I hope that none of you are in that position. You've been watching this channel too long. You better understand what I'm saying. It takes a little bit of money in the bank because there's things that you can only handle online. Certain bills that are taken out, insurance, for example, right? Many of them, it's automatic withdrawal, whether you like it or not. Leave that much in there. And then if they take that out, or if they lock you down, all you can tell, say, judge or whoever's coming down on you, say, they've got my money. How can you expect me to pay that bill? People say, what about mortgages? And what can you say? They want to take your property. They want to put you in 15-minute cities that are horror stories. But guys, I'm going to end it here. I think it's important for you to understand what we're talking about. At least I felt like it was important for me to share it with you. Again, and thanks for all of you that are starting or you're participating in the new Ark project to save some of God's creatures. That's a blessing in more ways than you'll ever know. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.